Here's my gear review for my European bicycle trip. Start out with the bicycle itself. This is a single gear steel Wabi Cycles Thunder bike. It has cantilever brakes that allow for larger tire clearances, which I think is apt for bicycle touring. A steel frame, which it's a Reynolds 725 steel, so lighter and stronger than cheaper steel. I have gator skin tires on it, single gear. Gearing is Outback 20 tooth gear. This is my friend's doggy named Charlie, who is super adorable and I have grown to love so much. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, going back to the bike. I'm riding with some drop bars. I like drop bars. I rode them across the United States and was very happy and comfortable. And if it's not broke, don't fix it. So I'm continuing with the drop bars. And Brooks B17 riding saddle, which definitely is not broke, and don't fix it because it's amazing to cycle tour on this saddle. As hard and wide as you can imagine, and perfect for riding long distances. Brakes are mounted on the handlebar. These are my Hawaii cycling beads that I used on my last ride as well. They're kind of my protection quad lock for mounting the phone. For bottles, I'm using Fid Lock, similar to quad lock bottles. And then underneath here, if you can see, is an alarm and the fender into the rack. In the front bag, which is from Ordleaf, I have mostly my recording equipment. Joby, Gorilla Grip. It's also magnetized. Tripod. This is from Insta360 to create a more stable base, which is why I chose this. It has extensions. So this creates quite a solid base. And as you can see, quite a tall tripod for recording. And on top of that, this head unit where I can put a phone, this has a 360-degree telescoping kind of mount, because when you're on the road, it can be very discouraging to have to stop, and you tend to avoid it unless you can make it easy. But in that sense, this closes up pretty easy. Oops. The drone, which is a DJI Mini. This is the drone. This is the controller, which I never understood why it's bigger than the drone itself. And I fashioned a GoPro clamp to a mount for the controller. And what that allows me to do is, when it's open, you can just quickly lock it into place. I'll be able to do it kind of comfortably on the bar. For camping, let's start there. I've got a Big Agnes sleeping tent for one. You hear the tent poles, and I have some plastic stakes, so super light but also easy to break. However, I found in my last experience that I didn't really need tent poles, because I would just put my panniers in the bag in the tent, and that was more than enough weight to keep the tent from moving. Sleeping pad, I'm using the Thermarest Neo Air, a very simple sleeping bag. The name escapes me, but it's basically rated for 55 degrees. One is a silk mummy liner that will keep me a little warmer. And then the other is an emergency blanket shell. So it's made out of that metallic kind of sheet plastic. So the combination of these two, this one's called a tacked bivy. Inside and outside of my sleeping bag is my way of getting around the sleeping bag not being warm enough. The idea is that I do as little camping during the few winter months that I'm cycling, and lean on Europe's extensive hostels Ultimately, why I'm doing that is because the fact is that I don't have a lot of room in my panniers. Other than that, what else do we have here? We have I'm not sure if I'm actually even taking it yet. I'll decide last minute, but I have a Clement pillow. And then I have a pair of booties that my mother actually gave me. And same thing, a pair of gloves to kind of insulate me in the bed. These kind of things are there to kind of compensate the lack of like a big quilt or sleeping bag, but they're all very small. Okay, the next group of items is almost everything else. In no particular order. These are multivitamins from Hammer Nutrition and some packets of salt. And basically, I'm taking about 3 of these a day. Over here, I have everything for my Insta360 Go 2. This is a sticky mount. And then I have a Pro grill mount. And I have another Insta360 attachment. As you can see, it go on many things. Over here, I have a waterproof case for my phone. And then a cover for when it gets very sunny. In my past road trip, what happened is my screen would overheat because the black was, of course, reflecting the sun. I have a moleskin, a spork, and then I have a set. It's basically 2 different forms of ID and 2 different additional credit cards. Over here, I have my bicycle and tent bag pannier maintenance. For cables, I have 2 of each. Here I have a waterproof case, cheap one from Amazon, but works just fine for maybe when I'm in the water with the phone. This is kind of another kind of additional repair or I don't know. Some zip ties. There's some lenses for the action camera. Here's a clip for the phone. Small lock. Some extra batteries. Carabiner. You can kind of like hook it onto a branch. Some safety pins and some rubber bands. Some reflectors that are magnetized. I can clip them onto my clothing or onto the bags and provide a little additional protection. Some cord. Here's my Nightcore headlamp, as well as a small knife. And here is a couple things. This actually unseparates. So one thing here, this is for Bluetooth, remote control for the camera. So I can use this for my phone. And this is all my kind of additional security. I'm using a tile to that I leave inside my front bag, and that allows if the bicycle is taken or moved somewhere, I might be able to track it. I also have the alarm, as I was telling you. So this alarm goes on motorcycles, mopeds, but I have fashioned one for the bicycle. So when you lock it, it makes that noise, and then if anyone messes with it, it'll start beeping. And I'm not going to turn it on, actually, now that I think about it. It would make a lot of noise, so which is the point. So hopefully that'll be a good deterrent. This is a little credit card kind of cell phone stand. I have a charger, and then I have an extra USB-C. And then I have 2 of these European converters. This is the hard drive. It's a solid state drive, and it's I believe it's 1 terabyte. And then this is an adapter that goes into the iPad, USB and USB-Cs, as well as the SD cards for my drone. Down here's the extra things for the DJI. I'm not taking the DJI Mini's 3 battery charger because it's too big. Instead, I'm using just this small one, which when you connect, tells you exactly how much charge you have. And then down here also for the drone, I have a card that holds micro SD and an SD card adapter. Battery, this is a 26,000 hertz Anker, so it's a very big brick, but it allows me to really be mobile. And the fact is, I'm not going like super off-road into into the mountains. I'm staying mostly on roads, even if I'm in the countryside. This charger, well, can charge all my devices probably for 3 or 4 days. I'm using an iPad mini 6, a new one, on an origami case that I bought on Amazon. And then this is an inexpensive keyboard, very thin, very light. So this is significantly lighter than if I carried a larger iPad. Well, definitely lighter than a larger iPad, and significantly lighter than a MacBook. Now, I don't have the full operating browser as a MacBook, but apps just keep getting better, and I'm going to be using LumaFusion as well as Adobe's suite of apps to do editing, and I think it might be more than sufficient, especially considering that I'm not much of a editor or filmmaker anyway, so my needs are pretty basic as well. So yeah, so that's the editing. Pair of flip-flop, towel, my bathroom accessories. So the thing I'm bringing is my Tibetan meditation bowl. This was a gift given to me from my mother when she was in Nepal, and it is handmade and beautifully designed, and most importantly, it reminds me of maybe the happiest moments I have. Last but not least, are clothes. What I also carry with me is I carry a small fanny pack that's on my person at all times. You know, one of these pockets can be used for food. In here I have hat, cycling hat from Giro. This is my passport. Here I have a paper map of Europe, pen, and a face mask. Then I have a pair of glasses. This is the action camera, the Insta360 Go 2. Here we've got I'm carrying 2 extra cycling t-shirts. They're from Uniqlo. They are, you know, kind of sweat resistant, or not, whatever. They dry quickly. I also have a t-shirt that I made, that I had made in Uniqlo as well. Maybe you can see a trend of me shopping there, but it has my logo on it. This is a charity bicycle. So this is my concept of cycling and doing something good in the world. So more about that on another video. But there you go. That's not for while I'm cycling, but maybe when I'm not. Oh, and we have a curious one here again. He's got to sniff everything because he's so cute. Yes, you're so cute. Dogs and children can do no wrong. Look at you. Here's a light summer kind of windproof jacket. Super light, can block some wind, some rain. It's mostly for the sun during the summer, and I carry 1 extra pair of shorts. I have 2 pair of extra underwear, 2 masks, buff, a very simple cotton buff, hat, a cycling hat also by Giro, but a black one that has extensions to cover your ears, 2 pair of gloves, of course, once again, 2 for the summer, fingerless gloves with padding, and 2 for the winter that are waterproof as well. 1 pair of tights that I will wear in the winter while I'm cycling. I have a high-vis vest, and then I have a handkerchief.